or what are we here for? And I really believe we're here to serve those patients. And what happens to productivity when you're truly serving people? You're not telling them what they need to have done, but what we're doing is we're being a consultant with them. We're sharing them what we would do if it was us.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Bruce B. Baird, and you're listening to the Productive Dentist Podcast. In this podcast, I will give you everything that I've learned over the last 40 years in dentistry, working with thousands of dentists. I'll tell you, it's not that my way is the only way. It's just one that has worked extremely well for me, and I'd love to share that with you so you too can enjoy the choices and lifestyle that productivity allows. More time for things you love, increased pay, better team relationships, and lowered stress. Let's get into it with this week's episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast.
Hi, this is Dr. Bruce Baird with the Productive Dentist Podcast, and this is episode number 99, and it's taken me a while to get from 98 to 99. Just letting you guys know, I was gone to the Maldives for a couple of weeks, and then I had a little surgical procedure that kind of went awry, but feeling good now, and everything's looking good. Want to share with you today something that happened on the trip to the Maldives. And by the way, if you're in the U.S. going to the Maldives, it is a long way. We flew through Doha in Qatar, and then that was a 15-hour flight from Dallas, and then a 8-hour layover and a 5-hour flight or 4.5-hour flight down to Malé in the Maldives. Gorgeous place, beautiful, beautiful fish, beautiful everything. Many of you remember year before last, I was in Bora Bora, and we did the same kind of thing with the little huts over the water and everything else. And I will tell you, if you're in the middle of the country or to the West Coast, it's not that far to Bora Bora, but it is a long way to the Maldives. So if you want to stay in a hut and you want to do that, I'd go to the I'd go to Bora Bora first. If you really enjoyed it, then hit the Maldives. So, but anyway, to talk about our trip and kind of what to me is about customer service. I got the opportunity to fly business class with Qatar, and it was amazing. I mean, the people, and I've been I'm a 3.5 million miler on American Airlines. So I've been doing this for obviously flying a lot, teaching and going to courses and doing all the things that I enjoy doing. But I've never had a feeling like I did, on Qatar Airlines. And, it was funny because they, up in first class, we boarded first. I mean, it was, like boarding a first class in the U.S. This is boarding business class. And we were in these Q suites, which, I mean, when we got on, of course, they're serving you champagne and they're serving you drinks or whatever you want while the rest of the plane is loading, which is, appropriate because you're paying out the wazoo for those kind of tickets. But it was the way that the people came around and asked questions. And do you have any questions? They showed the menus that they had, and it's all a la carte service. I mean, it is, you can pick what you want when you want to eat it. They'll make smoothies for you. They'll do everything. But the flight attendants would come around and just ask really great questions. Is there anything else that I can do to make you more comfortable? Is there how have you enjoyed the flight so far? This is 5 hours in. How have you enjoyed it? Is there anything that we can do to make your stay better? And, we just keep going. It kept going on and on. They made our bed for us. And in the Q suites, my wife and I, they actually made kind of a queen size bed. The beds are right next to each other. And it was just, it was incredible. But the thing that hit me was when Cynthia, my wife, asked the question, when we got to the end of the trip, she asked the question, are we supposed to tip them? And that absolutely kind of hit me right between the eyes. Are we supposed to tip them? I said, well, I don't know. It seems like we probably should, but I don't think so. I think this is just the service that they provide. And we both kind of laughed about it. But then it kind of hit me. What kind of service are we providing in our dental practice? Is it the kind of service that, and this was not just one person on the plane. This was everybody. Every time I turned around, there was somebody asking a question or just saying, do you need anything? Can I help you with anything? Toothbrushes in the bathrooms, cologne, you name it. There was, everything you needed. Is that the way your practice is? Is that the way our practice is? And when a patient, and I've had patients actually say, I'm going to give a tip, but over 35 years, that happened a few times. But do we give the kind of service that would allow us to have a tip? So do we give tippable service? And when I started thinking about that, I started thinking about how, and we talk about this a lot at Productive Dentist Podcast, but from the doctor to the leadership to the team to how we present ourselves and everything else. But going that extra mile, that's what I see that changes you from being a good practice to being a great practice, to being a sought after practice. And that's the one that has that has your entire team on the same page. And we've talked about it over and over, but I think a lot of that is, getting to know your own team and having them understand your vision and what kind of practice that you want to have, because it's absolutely critical that everybody is on the same page. It sure seemed to me that at Qatar, they were all on the same page. They must do a morning meeting and talk about it. All of the things that we talk about, smiley face, frowny face when we come to work. Are we in a good mood? Or what are we here for? And I really believe we're here to serve those patients. And what happens to productivity when you're truly serving people, you're not telling them what they need to have done, but what we're doing is we're being a consultant with them. We're sharing them what we would do if it was us. Our team from the front desk, they come in and, when the patient comes in, they're greeted like, how are you? Is there anything I can get you to drink? It's so good to see you, Mr. Johnson. How's your week been? Or if it's a new patient, you must be Mary, or Mrs. Wilson or whatever. And so it's that attention to details that really kind of, it kind of shook me, because I was like, are we really doing this? And so, and I can say that in every aspect, whether it be our team at Productive Dentist, whether it be the team that I have at Compassionate Finance and Comprehensive Finance and Abella, or is it the team at Granbury Dental Center? The difference. People are starving for excellence. They're starving for customer service. And customer service is not difficult. It really isn't. It's the old adage. Treat others as you would like to be treated, but doing it with an attitude of service, doing it with an attitude of gratitude that these people are coming in to see you. It's different. It is different. And it's different, and I know it's different. But are we leading that charge in our own business? Are we driving change in our own businesses to have that kind of question asked by every person that comes in your office? Should I give them a tip? This is over the top type service. Now, the problem is that I see in dentistry, and this isn't across the board. So I'm talking to those practices that have gone through a lot and have grown their businesses and have learned to run on schedule and have learned to schedule based on productivity and learn to be good leaders. Because this is, to me, it's like getting a cake without icing. Once that icing's put on, it's perfect. And you can't get there when you don't have the cake recipe. You can't get there when you don't have the systems in place. And can you do this in a startup business? Yes, you can, but you're going to have to really pay attention to details. Systems are not that hard to learn. Systems in themselves, and I've said this numerous times over the years, but there's not that many systems in a dental practice. Accounts receivable, insurance filing, case presentation skills. I mean, you can break it down fairly quick. But you want to have a philosophy of care that is beyond any question. And when you go to that, we've all been to a restaurant or we've all been to a place where somebody just serves you just above and beyond, and you give them that great tip. Well, why not have your entire office serving patients that way and having that as not just a philosophy, but a way of doing things? And it starts with, guess who? Starts with us. Starts with us as the leader, the doc, and all of us can be leaders. But once you start to see things change in attitude, then all of a sudden productivity begins to skyrocket. So what I always tell folks is, get your systems in place. When you're doing it, let's just say you just opened your practice. Well, the first thing you could do, the easiest thing you could do is come across with that attitude. Come across with that attitude of gratitude. Come across with that, I'm here to serve you. Your systems may not be that good. You may not have them all in place yet. But what I'm telling you is people can forgive if you're in a situation where they understand it. My daughter, Micah, got her first real job. She's at the YMCA, and yesterday was Mother's Day, and she was the only employee at the front desk, and she was all worried about it. And I told her, honey, just be yourself, just be nice. And she said, well, what happens if I have to go to the bathroom? Because I'm the only one there. I said, well, just, if somebody's there waiting for you, just say, I'm so sorry. I'm the only one here. But just be yourself. Be kind and be helpful. Anything that they need. And those are the things that, and I called her last night. She got off, I think, at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And I called her and she was like, oh, it was so great. She had so much fun. And she was kind of funny because she said, well, I didn't really, I like working with other people at the front desk, and we'll tend to talk and visit and do those kind of things, kind of busy stuff. But she said, yesterday I was by myself and I organized the front desk. There was a little leak in the bathroom, so I went and put a trash can under it. I went and cleaned a couple areas because, she was very focused on doing a great job. And I can tell you, that's what we should all do. So, but it all started on a flight from Dallas, Texas to Doha on Qatar, and I flew 4 legs on Qatar during this trip. There's a reason why they're ranked the number 1 airline in the world. And I think that there's a reason why you could be the number 1 dental practice in the whole world. And it comes down to attitude. It comes down to a sense of purpose. It comes down to customer service. It comes down to taking care of people the way you'd want to be taken care of. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with you guys this morning. This is podcast 99. Next one up will be 100 podcasts we've done over the last couple of years. I'm sorry it's been a month. I promise I'm gonna not miss a bunch here. I'm gonna stay on track. So God bless you guys, and I hope you have a great week. And remember, it's that attitude of service, and let's make that happen. Have a great week.
If you're losing sleep over your business and feel like you're already overloaded, but know your business needs attention, you just don't know how, when, or where to start, you're not alone. The reality is many dentists are overworking themselves, yet their practices are still struggling to be as productive as they should be. This is not sustainable, and there is a better way. That's why PDA has developed a transformative new program, Business Impact Foundations, to get you above the daily chaos and propel your business into an investment-grade practice. Using easy-to-implement proven methods combined with a unique learning atmosphere, you can activate a strategic growth plan in just 60 days. If you want to clarify your vision, align your team, and elevate the health of your community like never before, call us right now at 1-800-757-6077, extension 8, or head over to productivedentist.com/foundations to secure your spot. We have 2 sessions left this year, and each program is limited to only 20 doctors. Just for our listeners, use the code 2021IMPACT, that's 2021IMPACT, all one word, for $700 off your tuition.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, make sure you subscribe. Pass it along to a friend. Give us a like on iTunes and Spotify, or drop me an email at podcast@productivedentist.com. Don't forget to check out other podcasts from the Productive Dentist Academy at productivedentistpodcast.com. Join me again next week for another episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast.